Hi, I'm Regina Stark and I am in my gallery today. It's a Saturday. Usually I play music, but today I'm just listening to the sound of the traffic. And sometimes when we paint, it can become like a meditation. So you see, I am working on this piece that has a lot of texture. I teach texture. I teach adding things to your work, making your work sing, having a voice, all those kinds of things. So this piece is, I had several paintings that I named Dream Forest. I did a series a long time ago, maybe like 10 years ago. And I love the trees and I love the forest. And I moved here to Florida 2.5 years ago, and now I miss home. I miss New York. I miss the nature trails I used to walk on. So part of what happens with artists, if they let go, is that they can have some work in front of them, and they can learn to let it tell them what it wants to be, right? And when it does, it also becomes what that artist is experiencing at the time, and it will tell you a story, and then you can tell your story. And the thing that I teach my students is that you want to be able to do that when you paint, okay? Because that's what draws in your audience. That's what makes people feel good when they see your work, or be shocked when they see your work. It depends upon what kind of work you do. Now, there are some artists out there that do some pretty, well, maybe political, making a statement. You know, I've done that too. I have a piece that is in my head right now that is kind of what I'm going through on some levels, and I'm going to do that, and it has this definite story behind it. And you know, not everybody not everybody will like it, I don't think, but it's okay, because that's where my art is leading me. It's leading me to a place of making people aware, telling a story, or just making someone feel good, because that brings them. This piece, I know I had a reaction because I started this piece as a demo, and I had reactions from people that it was like they loved how dimensional it was. They loved the light that came through it. I'm just using a little bit of, I'm even, if you see, I'm not very conventional. I'm even using the cap and just putting a little bit on my brush. My brush is very wet. And I'm staining because I have, I'm not going to tell you my secret. You have to come take a class with me. I'm not going to tell you all my secrets, but I will tell you that I have something on top of this canvas that gives it all the texture and wrinkly stuff. So when you come take a class with me, you'll learn all that stuff. And so kind of staining, and it's all, well, not completely all, because there is some color underneath. It was actually a piece that I gessoed over and added some mediums and things too, and let some of that color that was underneath come through. So there's a lot going on here, but at the same time there's a lot going on here, but there is also a rhythm and a pattern and a peacefulness. So you can have a lot of detail in your work. You just have to learn how to make it aesthetically pleasing so that you're not all over the place when you look at it. You have to make it peaceful, or you can make it very crazy if that's what you want to say. But for a piece like this is a very tranquil piece, okay? So when I am painting, I either put on nice music, or I'm right on the road here. I'm in a pretty nice spot. I like it here. It's very peaceful. It's quiet. The only thing I do here is I hear the traffic. But since I'm a native New Yorker, I'm a New York chick. I like that. I like the sound of the traffic. It becomes a meditation for me. It reminds me of, you know, getting back to a city. And this is a small town I live in, so that just brings me back to part of the sounds that were the city, okay? You don't hear the buses and things like that you do in Manhattan, but I like that. You know, sound and smells and our senses, they're important, and especially to an artist, because I think once you really get into your work, you do, I say it's visceral, meaning that it's, my senses come alive when I paint, and it's a very wonderful experience for me. And I have been doing this since I was 3, so it's part of who I am. If I don't, this is one of my statements too that I tell my friends when they say, "Where are you? We never see you. You never go out." Well, I do, but I go out sometimes and I have dinner, and I go home to my peaceful environment and my puppy Harley. This is my life. This is who I am. This is what fulfills me. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes me the person that I am. And so I have enough, which is wonderful, right? I have enough when I am in my studio. I have enough when I'm with the canvas. I have enough to fulfill me, because this is who I am. So I'm very fortunate that I was courageous enough to pursue this. I didn't do it the way most people do. I'm not very conventional. So I did it, you know, in drips and drabs, and I got there. And I have a clientele, and I speak sometimes back in New York for Career Day. I speak to teens because I believe that you can fulfill your creative dreams, and if you don't, then you will never be happy. So I speak to them, but I also speak to them about the ins and the outs and the difficulties of choosing this as your career, and that they probably will have to substitute for something else, with something else for a while, because I believe, if you believe in yourself, that you can achieve your dreams, right? So this little video is more about my philosophy. And I believe that if you say you're a starving artist, well, then you are. I never say that. I never say that. I believe that if you learn to balance your life, and you believe in the work that you do, and you take it from here and bring it here, people feel that, okay? So that's basically how I teach. I teach artists to come out of the box. I teach them to love what they do. Some of them drop out because they're not ready to go there, or it's just not for them. But this video today is just to show you how peaceful it can be when you are in that place of creativity, when you know that this is what you need to do to keep yourself happy. And so you come to the canvas and you do your work, and you make mistakes, but that's okay, because when you make mistakes, you can work over them, and that's what I teach people. So I hope that someday I will see you at my studio, or I'll travel to where you are, meet some people in your town, because I do that also. Remember that creativity is healing, and it leads you to being happy. And Julia Cameron is one of my favorite people, and she says that blocked artists aren't happy. So remove the block. Come take a class. I hope to see you. Namaste.